To say. Joining us right now is Judith Browne Dianis, Executive Director of the Advancement Project National Office. Judith, glad to have you back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Bottom line here is this here. Republicans need to cheat to win. What we are seeing is that you've been using the courts to deconstruct and break down how we got to this point. The Voting Rights Act has been one of the most important laws ever passed in the history of the United States. It was gutted in Shelby v. Holder, just as John Roberts said, hey, there's really no need for it anymore. Look at black turnout. No, black turnout is what it was because of the Voting Rights Act. And so this case could erode Section 2. This is why Congress must act. Democrats cannot use a filibuster as an excuse not to pass a comprehensive bill that, named after John Lewis, that will fix the problems in Shelby v. Holder, plus what may come down with this decision.
Yep. So, Roland, I mean, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Like, they have been going after the Voting Rights Act for quite some time, not even just in the Shelby County case, but even before that, right? And so this isn't, it's the Voting Rights Act. And if you think about it, the attacks on affirmative action, right? They are trying to dismantle all of the civil rights laws, and the Voting Rights Act being one of the most powerful of those. And so what we are seeing right now is a case before the Supreme Court that would put the nail in the coffin with regard to the Voting Rights Act. We lost Section 5, which allowed for pre-approval before laws were changed. Now they would take away the part of the law that organizations like Advancement Project use to challenge voter suppression laws. And so, we should put this in perspective. This is totally about dismantling civil rights protections. It is totally a power grab. It is totally an effort to keep power in the hands of the Republican Party at the state legislature. And they are upset, as we see in state legislatures across the country, that they have put in place, or they are trying to pass new laws to make it harder for us to vote, because we turned out record numbers. And they know when we make it easy for people to vote, black folks are going to turn out.
But the issue here is not just black voters, Judith, and that is it's Latino voters. It's young voters. The numbers don't lie. By 2024, there'll be more Gen Z millennial voters than baby boomers. What they are trying to do, and majority of those people are people of color. That's who they're targeting. And they're targeting older voters. Bottom line is this here. They need to contract. They need to somehow shrink the voting population. And so what they're doing in Georgia and then 43 other states, the bills they've introduced, this is real. And so Democrats, Kristen Sinema in Arizona, hey, get your head out of the sand and realize that your opposition to ending the filibuster, if you do not fix this, guess what? She will be in the minority in 2022.
Right,
the House.
Right. I mean,
Democrats will lose the House and the Senate if they do not pass a comprehensive voter bill. You must expect the worst from this Supreme Court.
That's right. We have to get the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act passed. It is important for us to have a restoration of the voting rights law. I mean, this is serious. People need to be calling their senators, pushing on them and saying, we don't want any excuses about anything. We have to get this protection, because what we know is, Roland, is that, yes, the browning of America and the number of young people who turn out makes them upset because they want to maintain power. But the other thing is, we're getting ready to go into redistricting. And so not having voting rights protections as we go into redistricting and figure out how we're cutting up the political pie, and we have no protections for black and brown people, is going to be detrimental to political power, not just for 10 years, but 20 and 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, simple as that. And look, COVID bill has been passed, and I keep saying, I don't want to hear anything from Democrats. I don't want to hear jack from President Joe Biden about infrastructure. The voting bill is the next one. That's the next one, period. I don't get, damn all this bipartisanship and, no. You don't confront the voting issue, you are guaranteeing that Republicans will do political gerrymandering. You're right when it comes to redistricting. You talking about controlling the courts? We see what's happening in Pennsylvania, where they want to get rid of these statewide elections for Supreme Courts and go to district judges because they do not like the fact that Democrats have a majority of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They don't like the fact that Democrats have a 4-3 majority of the North Carolina Supreme Court. And the only reason the North Carolina congressional districts were overturned as racial gerrymandering was because they took control of the state Supreme Court. They won on the political gerrymandering on the federal level, but they lost on the state level, and that's why that white judge ran against the sister in North Carolina and beat her by less than 400 votes. Democrats would also better pay attention. You cannot let Republicans control the courts because they pass the laws on the legislative side. They control the courts to affirm the laws that they pass. They control the Supreme Court. They can run the table.
That's right. I mean, if we look at this, all these states that are now taking up voter suppression laws, what they're trying to do is roll back mail-in voting, not allow people to have absentee balloting without an excuse, take away the drop boxes, cut back to early voting. All of these tools that they know are the things that Sunday voting, right? Souls to the polls, getting rid of that. And they know that if they're able to do that in state legislatures, and they've controlled the courts now with all these Trump appointees, that they are going to actually get rid of all the protections that we have for civil rights. And so this is the moment in which Democrats have to have a backbone and get that bill passed.
Absolutely. Judith Browne Dianis, the Advancement Project. We surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Roland.
Folks, you heard Judith mention what's happening there in Georgia.